Think back to the first time you played your favorite game. Not just the title screen, but the moment it clicked, the moment you knew it was your favorite. Maybe it was from the gameplay, the music, the story, or something you can't even put into words, but it stuck with you. For me, that moment was fighting Radahn in Elden Ring. The fight wasn't just another bump in the road, it was a ceremony, a place of honor, and to see many familiar places all band together just to fight one boss. It was a spectacle that I don't think I've ever seen in a Soulsborne game. That first experience didn't make me just fall in love with the game, it made me want to understand why it made me feel that way. And I think that's the heart of what makes great game design. It's not just for entertainment, not just for fun, but for immersion, that full body and mind feeling that you are in it. And the coolest part is that could mean so many different things. Some people get that feeling from giant open worlds, fast-paced combat, or even from a narrative-driven experience. And that's why games are so unique. They don't just tell you stories, they let you tell your own. So in this video, I want to break down what makes game design truly great and how things like the mechanics, the world design, and the narrative all shape how we engage with the games we love. Starting with the mechanics, the core of how the game feels to play. Great game mechanics don't just function well, they feel right. They're the bridge between you and the virtual world in a scene. Good mechanics don't just let you interact, they make you feel like you belong in that world. But there's more to it. When a game's mechanics are strong, that player naturally adapts and builds their own style. And that's where the magic happens, when the player isn't just following instructions, they're expressing themselves. This is what's known as dynamics, the pattern of play that emerges based on your experiences and how you respond to the game's system. Take Monster Hunter World for example. The combat is heavy, deliberate, and hefty. Each weapon feels like it has real weight to it. You're not just swinging a sword, you're committing to a massive blow while also reading monster movements and reacting in real time. Each weapon has its own rhythm and complexity, and mastering one takes time, but when it clicks, oh, it's incredibly satisfying. Another great mechanic is the scout flies. At first glance, they seem like simple GPS bugs guiding you to your target, but what's brilliant is how they don't just give you the answer. You have to physically find the clues, the footprints, the scratches, just so you can build a trail. Eventually, the scout flies learn and lead you more directly, but that early process feels like actually tracking. The game isn't telling you, go fight this boss, it's telling you, hunt this creature. That small shift creates a huge difference in immersion from simply limiting your knowledge of the monster's location. Now, compare that to Doom Eternal, which is funny because I was trying to play Doom the Dark Ages and have video game footage of that, but my graphics card doesn't have any ray tracing, so yeah. Monster Hunter is all about observation and precision. Doom is about speed, aggression, and flow. Everything in Doom is designed around a concept called push forward combat. You don't hide from the conflict, you dive into it. Glory kills are the heart of this. When an enemy is stunned, you rush in and execute them with a brutal finishing move. It's fast, visceral, and it is rewarding. The game wants you to stay in motion and to keep on constantly using these mechanics. Everything from the weapon wheels to the dashes, chainsaws, and flamethrowers, it's all built to keep you aggressive and adaptable. These mechanics make you feel powerful, like you're surviving hell by being the scariest shit in it. And again, it's not just about the tools, it's about the choice. How you move, what you prioritize, and how you chain your weapons and abilities all reflect your personal style. Doom doesn't let you just fight demons, it lets you express yourself through violence, which is fucking metal. Ultimately, what makes mechanics immersive is how they shape your relationship with the game. Whether it's the slow mastery of the charge blade or the fluid carnage of demon slaying, the best mechanics pull you in, not just through function, but through feeling. The next topic is world design. When I think great world design, I don't just admire the scenery or the size of the map, I think about how alive the world feels. A great game world doesn't just look cool, it makes you feel like you're a part of it. You have freedom and impact, you're not just playing in the world is reacting to you. And to me, what makes that feeling achievable is by breaking it down into two major components, which are environments and inhabitants. Environments are everything in the world that is not alive. The terrain, the layout, the objects and architecture, basically what's around you, whether it's simple platforms in a 2D game, obviously red explosive barrels, or a massive interconnected biome. All of it shapes where you go and how you engage. But a good environment isn't just a backdrop, it's something you play with. It should challenge your awareness. It should make you adapt and overcome the challenges by using your surroundings. When world design makes you think differently about where you are, it adds depth to everything else. Another component to great world design is inhabitants. Basically, who's around you. Enemies, NPCs, shopkeepers, even the player character. All of these bring the world to life through interaction, and not just living things either. Chests, doors, levers, traps, anything that responds to you is a part of the game's inhabitants. What makes this powerful is how inhabitants and environments interact. A lever changes the terrain. The terrain might prohibit movement from a character. A good world design doesn't separate these things. It blends them together in a natural living system. That's how it starts to feel immersive. That's when you stop thinking about it as a level and start seeing it as a place. Let's look at Hollow Knight as an example. Like most Metroidvanias, the world starts closed off, with only a few paths available. But as you explore, you gain new powers, and suddenly the world opens up. Places that were once unreachable now become gateways. You're not just unlocking new areas, you're adapting to the environment. And in turn, the environment is adapting to you. That dynamic makes you feel like you're carving your own path into this mysterious living world. Now, compare that to Elden Ring, and specifically its legacy dungeons. Rather than closed off segments for a later time, these dungeons are self-contained, handcrafted levels nested within the open world that feel inevitable. You're drawn to them not just because they're important to the story, but because they feel important. They radiant challenge. They tell you, hey, something is serious waiting inside. But you're the one who chooses when to go. That choice and freedom gives your actions weight. You could go out and explore more or dive straight into it. Either way, the world is reacting to you. In the end, world design does more than just set the stage. It tests you, rewards you, and remembers you. When a world responds to your decisions, when it makes you feel like your presence matters, that's when it becomes more than just a level. That's when it becomes a place worth remembering. While it might seem obvious that stories play a big role in immersing players, what makes video game narratives truly stand out compared to other media such as books or movies is that the players are active in them. We aren't just watching events unfold, we're in the story, making decisions, reacting to characters, and sometimes even shaping the outcome. Sure, choose your own adventure books and tabletop RPGs get close, but video games offer something even more immediate, a strong reactive world where your presence changes things. Whether directly through choices or indirectly through how you play, narrative immersion in games is about participation, and nothing makes a story more compelling than a great cast of characters. Think about how quickly players got attached to characters like Solaire from Dark Souls or Saiyans from Undertale. They're not just written well, they feel like people you met because you've interacted with them, fought against or beside them, and experienced the story with them. Take Persona 3 Reload. Even though I haven't finished the game yet, I already know it has one of my favorite casts in any Persona game. Why? Because they don't follow you around like yes men. There's real conflict and friction in how they react to the events of the story, and that makes your place in the narrative feel more personal. For example, Junpei constantly compares himself to you. He's insecure, impulsive, and clearly feels overshadowed. He sees you not as a leader, but as a rival. The more competent you are in-game, the more that eats at him. That's player-driven emotion. Your success as the player is a part of his narrative arc. On the other hand, there's Yukari, who's cautious and anxious. She doesn't hide her fear of fighting shadows. She questions why they're even doing it in the first place. Her doubts add a subtle but powerful tension to the group. She's not there for glory or validation. She's scared. She's just trying to survive. You feel her fear because you fight through it with her. And what makes this more poetic is how their personas, their manifestation of their inner selves, reflect their worldviews and their roles in the party. Junpei's aggressive fire-based persona mirrors his hot-headedness. Yukari's wind-based supportive persona reflects her guarded, careful nature. These characters aren't just written well, they exist in the system of the game. Another great example, and it's truly underrated, is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. It's more linear than Persona, but it still masterfully puts that player inside the mind of the protagonist, Raziel. His monologues are legendary. That Shakespearean, venom-laced introspection, it pulls you in. You feel his grief, betrayal, and fury, not just because the voice acting, but because you are the one retracing his steps, re-entering a ruined Nosgoth with no knowledge of how it's changed. You and Raziel are both outsiders. And as you explore, Raziel reflects on new areas, describing what once was and how it's lost. It makes you feel like you're not just playing a level, you're uncovering a graveyard of memories, his and eventually yours.
My God! The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
That's powerful. It ties the world of the story and the story to you. Narratives and characters are powerful, but what makes a game truly immersive is how the player is a part of it. Whether it's through direct choices, character relationships, or even just your presence and how it affects others, great game narratives need the player to function. They're not just stories told to us, they're stories we directly unfold. At the end of the day, what makes great game design is immersion. Whether it's the way the mechanics draw you in, how the world feels alive and responsive, or how the story grips you with unforgettable characters and moments. It all comes down to how you personally connected. Immersion is the invisible thread that ties everything together. And the beauty is, this is just the surface. There are so many more ways games can immerse players, and we only talked about a select few. Video games have always had a special place in my heart. Yeah, I know how nerdy that sounds, but if you've made it this far into the video, I think it's safe to say that you probably feel the same way too. So before you go, I want to leave you with this. Think back to the first time you played your favorite game. That moment when everything just clicked. When you got lost in its world, its gameplay, its story. That feeling, that was immersion. It's your personal connection to the game, and honestly, that's what makes it great. Thank you all so much for watching. Feel free to like and comment down below. I hope I can make more videos like this soon, and yeah, until then, stay immersed.